Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in through our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could join us as well. Had a chance to watch a really funny film recently called BIGFOOT FAMOUS, and I'm excited to welcome writers, producers, and directors Sam Milman as well as Peter Vass to our program to talk to them about the film, what it's been like for them to do what they love when it comes to both in front of the camera and behind, and also what they hope you're able to take away from the big film, and, of course, let you all know how to stay connected with all the updates. Sam, Peter, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Well, Sam, I'll start with you. I mean, the two of you are known, of course, because of what you've been able to do with Bad Weather Films, being able to make people laugh, but also, as I was saying to you guys before we went on here, making people think, what has this journey been like for you to do what you love and then to be able to see so many other people enjoy it as well?
Yeah, it's been a long journey because we met in high school in TV class, and we bonded over the Chicago Bulls and Backstreet Boys. And Peter was making Backstreet Boys music videos and with his friend group, and then they needed an extra member, so I joined in. And so, you know, it's been quite a journey. We met in like 2005. So,
wow.
You know, it's been once we started working together, we made short films in high school, and then we went off to separate colleges, and then came back together to move out to LA. So, you know, the goal was to write and direct movies, and, you know, we've been very thankful that, you know, it obviously they all take quite a bit of time and, you know, year-long processes and over, but, you know, very, very grateful we've been able to stick together and, you know, see it through, because it's been a hard journey, but also it's fun, you know, it's great when everything comes together and, you know, you have that finished product and doing it with a friend, you know, with friends along the way. But yeah, it's wild. It's hard to kind of put it in words because it's such a, you know, long process, but it's been really fun.
Yeah. Peter, what about for you? I mean, have you always known that you wanted to create in some form or fashion?
I have. I think I was probably in middle school, and our family had like one of those old school like video cameras, and I would just start filming videos with like my brother and my friends in my backyard or my basement, and we actually remade the first Lord of the Rings movie. It's like a 45-minute terrible rendition of the Fellowship of the Ring, and we shot out in like forest preserves and stuff, and that kind of like really, I don't know, the Lord of the Rings movies kind of came out right when I was really getting into that, and those kind of like inspired me. But, you know, Sam and I met, and comedy's always been a thing that both of us enjoy, and kind of just started putting the pieces together that, you know, maybe we should combine this love for cinema with the love for comedy, and started off doing a lot of short form stuff, and we've taught ourselves how to edit, and kind of always been like just making our own content. So I've always kind of had a natural like drive towards it.
Yeah. So, Peter, I want to ask you this question, then throw it to you, Sam. Could you have imagined when the two of you began that you would be where you are today, being able to be respected the way that you are and being able to bring people together around the projects you've been able to create?
No. No, I wouldn't say at least, you know, that confident. I mean, it takes a certain personality to, you know, want to, I guess, go out and make it in the film business. But, I mean, not really. I mean, we started off small doing sketches on YouTube and started picking up traction there. So, you know, there was always like that glimmer of hope. Okay, we're doing something bigger now, a little bigger this time. But I don't know, you know, I think it was just definitely trying to maintain positivity throughout, like, the difficulties of, you know, coming out to LA and that struggle. But I think if you're able to, you know, surround yourself with good people, and then it also helps having, you know, the two of us and Peter always, like, if I don't know, one of us is down and the other one's picks up the other one. So it's always, it's nice that we've had each other along the way. But no, I mean, I couldn't have imagined it. It was always the goal. But, every time we have an opportunity, it's like, oh, wow, we're doing what we wanted to do. But, yeah, it's been a hard journey. But over the last, 12 years or so that, coming out to LA. But it's been good overall.
Wow. So for you then, Sam, where did the idea for what I saw, Bigfoot Famous, how did this idea come about?
Well, we were looking to do something on the cheaper side that we could go off on our own with a small crew and use locations that that just really wouldn't cost anything. And then just in the back of our mind, I don't know, we always had a curiosity about Bigfoot. And this was even before the pandemic, because we filmed right in the middle of the pandemic last year. So we had this idea in the back of our mind for a bit, and pandemic happened, and then we wanted to stay active, and then we were thinking of ideas, and we had the Bigfoot thing, and we're like, well, we can go to the forest, small crew, limited amount of actors there, to keep it safe. And and so then we just went off and stuck with COVID protocols and had somebody checking in on us to make sure we were abiding by all of the protocols, and we were able to do it. But that was pretty crazy, and before vaccines and all that, and just everybody testing negative, and just being as safe as possible.
Peter, I want to ask you about some of the themes, because the premise of it, people can, I'm not spoiling anything by talking about that. You have someone who has had a taste of, especially online celebrity, and as happens in quote unquote real life, I think that gets blurry sometimes too. They're not where they used to be, right? So they see this opportunity to be able to come out on top, and even at the risk of their own safety or saying this and other people's. What was it like for you to kind of see it all come together? Because it's one thing for Sam and you to have this idea, but what is it like for you to see these actors bring this storyline to life?
Oh gosh, it was so exciting the first time watching. I think actually when we watched it with the score at the end, because we edited it. So when the score finally came in, and I remember tearing up and being like, wow, this works. This is cool. We were very conscious over which actors we cast in it, because we have a web of a lot of really talented comedic actors that can do a lot of improv, because something interesting about the film is the whole film was improvised as well. We had a very structured outline, but in terms of the dialogue, we kind of left it up to the actors and worked with them when we were on set. So Steph Barker, who played the lead, we had done a short with her before with the same character, and it was this desperate influencer who was trying to have a birthday party, and no one was showing up, and so she was trying to make it look really cool on her Instagram story, and we just had so much fun making it and thought it was such a funny, sad reality. We kind of combined that with our interest in Bigfoot, and we're like, why doesn't this desperate influencer try to go find Bigfoot in the woods to make herself relevant again? And just kind of she gets this team of Bigfoot experts and her boyfriend Jericho and a tour guide to kind of lead her out there to find Bigfoot. And from there we kind of just started rolling with different scenarios and really utilizing the strength of the actors Chris Kleckner and Lauren Howard Hayes, Anthony Ma, and Kelsey Gunn. They're all just very talented actors, and they're all friends of ours. So seeing it put together was awesome, and the footage is just unbelievable, because we were up in the Humboldt Redwood State Park in Northern California, and just the natural beauty of there really kind of elevated the entire premise.
Sam, I want to ask you about the commentary. Of course, my friends tell me I read something into everything, but I think there's so many. I mean, I laughed, I think, pretty much all the way through the film, but there were some very, I think, interesting points that kind of correlate with the world we live in today, right? And and how we kind of see ourselves, what makes us feel good about ourselves, what people are willing to do to have some type of either notoriety or feeling like they're being seen. But even in one of the characters, what I thought was so interesting was the connection to their mother and wanting to be something, wanting to do something. What was that like for you, Sam, to kind of bring those things together of having people be able to laugh and enjoy the film, but also to get these little nuggets that you all had throughout it?
Yeah, it's something we were definitely conscious of as we were creating the outline for this, just being in the YouTube world for as long as we have and meeting so many personalities. It can definitely be a very kind of sad kind of world when you really break it down and just, and we wanted to find the line of comedy and sort of like exposing this. And I think there is a lot of comedy when you break it down and look at it for what it is. But there is another side of it that it's like, oh, like when you look at it, it's like it is real, and it is like stuff that we've worked with a lot of people who are pretty much the characters in the movie, which might be hard for people to believe, but it's celebrity culture, and it's magnified with YouTube and Instagram opening up this world that anybody can be a creator, and when you open that up, it's like, what will you do, and how low will you go to get those views? But yeah, absolutely. Like we do find it. I think if you go enough in like the satire of it, it's definitely funny, but there's truth in it.
Yeah, definitely is that. So, Peter, I want to talk about how our audience then will be able to enjoy this. I mean, talk to us about when you see it being available for the rest of the world to be able to see. I know you guys have some dates coming up.
Yeah, so I guess the best way to follow along is on our Instagram. The handle is @BigFootFamous. Should be pretty easy to find there. But we have the official release is going to be November 2nd, so next week. It's coming up. The movie is now available to pre-order on iTunes. So you can pre-order it now, or you can wait till it comes out November 2nd and rent it. Rainy day, just a little evening off. Pop on a Bigfoot comedy. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. And again, it is definitely funny. I mean, it's funny, but again, I love the little nuances in it that really make you think about life and the culture that we're in right now, for sure. Again, everyone, Peter Vass and Sam Milman have been our guests. They've been talking with us about their journey and doing what they love in the entertainment industry, but also, of course, the new film, Bigfoot Famous, that is, as you heard there, is out next week. So definitely want you guys to make sure you're following the Instagram page. Guys, is that the best place for them to stay connected with the two of you as well?
Yeah, and we also have our Instagram as well as Bad Weather Films, and you can find us anywhere on YouTube, Facebook, under Bad Weather Films. Okay.
Well, Sam, Peter, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate you stopping by, and looking forward to speaking with you again.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Glad to have the two of you. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.